Okay, we're live. Okay, I'm going to move some cards on Dermedica and Special Ops. Then, Alex is on you.
All right.
Okay, I'm done. You're up.
Can you open the
Yeah.
the board so we can go through at the same time?
It's CGC, Luxury,
See,
UFC.
just see, yeah, those three.
Okay.
Cool. Nothing for Excel. Nothing for Magistrate.
No.
No.
Let me
Okay.
double check. Magistrate, no.
Yeah.
Let me check. So. Yeah, Excel.
Okay.
And that's it.
Can you check those cards real quick? See if those were my cards, because I might have done that. That might not have been Adam that put them up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to double check with Adam then.
Okay.
Because I probably put them at the top of the list when I made them.
Gotcha.
Yep. Okay, I'll do
Okay.
mine then. Starting with CGC. There's one card still in current sprint here. Ugo got back to me though, so hopefully that should be done soon. We've got a few cards unblocked because Jason has been out of the office with a family emergency. So unfortunately, there are some tasks that we can't really keep working on until he gets back. In the meantime, I'm going to move a few cards in, starting with a VGC canonical audit. I did one this week for Ottawa, and some of the things that I found was that Ottawa had a lot of pages that were a little bit outdated in terms of their keyword targeting. So like they would have one page for kitchens, they would have another page for kitchen designs, and they would have another page for small kitchens, right? And so I went through, looked at those, and saw which ones were ranking, which ones were not ranking, which ones I think that I could canonical to the regular kitchens page and hopefully boost that up a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing for VGC this week. Let's see, OGC targeting deep dive basements page. This one's for you, Simon. What I'd like you to do is to go check out that canonical audit that I did last week for Ottawa, and really take a look at the basements page and see whether there are any LSIs or synonyms or things like that that we need to find, that we need to be including in the basements page. One of the things I found when I did this this update for Ottawa is that, for example, Ottawa, a lot of the copy was only kitchens, right? Because they had their own pages for things like countertops, and they had their own pages for cabinets. But if you went onto the actual kitchens page, there wasn't a single mention of cabinets. There wasn't a single mention of countertops. So I'd like you to go through and look at the basements page for this week and see whether there are any whether there are any related terms like that that are there should be there for basements. Serge, you and I are going to look at pushing some of those canonical link changes that I did for OGC this week. Simon, I've got one for you here: page targeting and on-page optimization check-in for local landing pages. That's a card that you queued up, so you should know what to do there. Serge, I know that recently you looked at some of this schema for Vancouver. I'd like to go ahead and push out some of those new schema code live to the site. And then Simon, there's one for you and I. We're we're gonna queue some updates for the next sprint. I'm gonna get in touch with you and tell you a little bit more about this card because I have to do a little bit on it first, and then I'll have you work more on the tail end of this card. So that's CGC for this week. Moving to luxury team. Serge, do you have any chance to work on the writing?
Just a little bit. My wife is helping me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let me know
I'm sorry.
when you get a chance. It would be nice to get that experiment live and off the
Yeah.
ground. I've got a card here for you, Adam, that it looks like you may have just forgotten about. Was hoping that you could look a little bit into remarketing for the luxury team with Patrick. Please let me know if you can get a chance to do that sometime soon. Moving into new cards, Serge, I've got one for you to push some more schema live onto the city pages. I've got a card here for link building brainstorm. Adam, myself, Josh, Simon. I think the luxury team is at a point where the on page is starting to get good. We've gotten better at internal links, things like that. We just need to start getting some stronger links, right? It could be anything from a local newspaper to an interview in a real estate magazine or whatever. But we need to start getting some ideas for some strong links for these guys. Chris, I've got one for you. I want to put together a blog post about foreign ownership in South Florida. So a lot of Steven's leads are from overseas. So put together a guide that we can put maybe to a call to action at the bottom of the city level page. I've scored this one a 5 because I think it might take a little bit longer because of the research involved, right? So looking into maybe some of the local laws and whatnot, or extra documents they might need to prepare, or whatnot, things like that. Ugo, I've got some changes for the Bell Harbor page for you. I've got a card for myself to make some real estate webmaster changes. We've had a few proposed changes that we went and we got quotes for that are kind of sitting around in my inbox while I've been thinking about them. And we need to start moving forward. And then Serge, you and I are going to pick one city to make that quote unquote hacked landing page that you put together. Start moving PPC traffic there and see how it goes for this month. See if it helps us out a lot with our conversions, our costs, things like that.
Okay.
So that's luxury team for the week. Moving on to UFC. Let's see, hookup registration system, Josh. We talked about this one. I'm kind of at the point where it's like,
well, I don't think, but
it's easy.
it was just, yeah, it was just a suggestion from him, so we really don't have any direction, right? All I really did was figure out what the issue was and give a couple options, but I need to be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think what happened was that he kind of, exactly, he kind of threw out the suggestion, and I have no idea how hard or how easy it was. Somewhere in there, I was under the impression that it was pretty quick, and so I queued it up and thought everything would be a lot easier than I guess it is. So I'm going to leave this one here for this sprint. I'll send Steven an email. We have sent Steven an email, right?
Yeah, it was just a basic. It wasn't like we need direction kind of situation. I suggest you take a look at those options there and get with me.
Yeah.
And Serge as well.
Okay. I'm going to put myself on the card then.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll help out grilling Steven, figuring out what he wants to do there. And if not, then we don't have to either. It's not super crucial.
That pixel tracking though, that would be, that's conversions. It's a real nice thing if that showed up in analytics.
Yeah. That's the most important thing for me, right? Something that tracks conversions.
Yeah.
That's a lot more important than him having an easy database or whatnot.
For us, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So I'm going to move 2 over for John first. One to post the next, or the first, I guess, Google My Business review. I'd like you to update the calendar dates that are there in the calendar because the calendar was done a while, and we should have a handful of reviews so far, but we haven't yet. When you do that, I'm going to go and manually put together all the cards and put due dates on them so that doesn't happen again. Serge, I've got one for you here to start pushing the breadcrumbs live. Are the breadcrumbs live?
Yeah.
They're live. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to change this to make breadcrumbs adjustments then. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no worries.
This one might end up blocked anyway because I've got another one that I'm going to move in right now for you guys. That's for you and I. It's just talking about changing the URL structure. This is something I wanted to do for a while for UFC, but since we wanted to do just a straight one-to-one migration, that's something that got put aside. Now the Google Webmaster Tools looks pretty normal. I think it's okay to start at least preparing to change the URL structure and make it the site architecture more SEO friendly. And so maybe the breadcrumbs will be, because I want the breadcrumbs to say, home, locations, Miami, right? And right now they would only say home, Miami, because they're all under the same folder. Anyway, so we'll talk about that. Might be a redundant card, but whatever. I've got one to set up the Facebook plugin for the phishing reports. Serge, I don't think you've seen it, but Adam, myself, and Steven have been talking a while about what to do with the phishing reports he has on his website. They're a little bit outdated, and Steven came up with a good idea that I guess he does update them on his Facebook page. So just sticking a widget in there instead of manually updating it on the site or whatever will have us much more updated reports. I'm sorry. So we'll do that. I've got a card for you to install Hotjar onto UFC. And then I've got one for you here, Simon, for rankings check-in. I'd like to see if any of how the rankings have been doing over the past 3 weeks or so, since before the migration, essentially. Things might be a little bit volatile, they might be a little bit up and down, but if there's any big drops, I'd like you to let me know, please. And that's UFC for the week.
Nice. So I think that's it.
Anything for Adam's YouTube show?
No, he said let the show alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Serge.
So I think that's it.